In this video, we're going to kick off our discussion of grading groups inside Civil 3D. Grading groups are found up in the Home tab of the ribbon bar under the Grading dropdown. We have three options inside of the Grading dropdown. We have the Grading Creation Tools, Create Grading Infill, and then Create Grading Group. In order to create a grading infill, you have to have other grading objects inside of your drawing. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to first create the backbone, kind of like we did when we created a surface by making a placeholder. We're going to create a placeholder for our grading creations by creating a grading group. So what we're going to go ahead and do is create this grading group. And inside of the Create Grading Group window, we have the option of choosing the name for our grading group, entering a description for that grading group. And then what's new and exciting about grading groups is that once we've created a grading group, we can use that grading group to automatically create a new surface. So I'm going to go ahead and check OK or yes for automatic surface creation. What the surface is going to be called is based on what the group name is. And then what the surface style for that surface that's being created, what that surface style is going to be. And obviously we can always redefine that later. And then what we have in here for tessellation spacing, what tessellation spacing is it is the space along the outer boundary of your grading group of how wide that triangle is that you're creating off of your grading group. So our triangulation that we had for our surface, this tessellation spacing basically says how wide is the bottom edge of your triangle going to be along the outside edge of your grading group. And obviously, so the smaller the tessellation spacing, the more data is going to be in your surface and the more refined it's going to be, which is not necessarily always a good thing because more data means that you could possibly bog down your drawing by having way too much data. So I'm going to leave it as 10. And then the tessellation angle is as you're coming around a corner of a grading group, the angle that those radial lines coming out from a set point out to the outside edge of that rounded corner on a grading group, that angle is that tessellation angle. And so the smaller the angle, the more close you are going to get to approximating an actual curve. But the smaller the angle you get, the more data you're going to have, which is effectively going to make your drawing larger and could possibly bog down your drawing. So you want to kind of find a nice in-between area. I'm going to leave both as 10 and 3. And then what you can do is you can create a volume-based surface based off of your grading group. So I'm going to check yes for that. And I'm going to make my base surface that I'm comparing to my EG surface because all the work that we're going to perform is going to be based against our EG surface. And we're going to either be filling or cutting out of that surface for our development. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And now it's asking me to give information regarding our surface. So I can go ahead and give it a surface name. It's saying surface next counter. I'm just going to go ahead and say grading. And then we have contours 1 and 5. That's okay. I'm going to click OK. And so now when we start working with our grading creation tools, we already have a grading group to work with. And inside of our surfaces, we have a grading group surface.